Hey YouTube, today we are deep cleaning my kitchen. My kitchen has open concept shelving, so we need to take everything off of them and wipe them down. I want to deep clean the sink. Our hood over our stove is filled with grease, so I want to take that apart and clean it. And I have never deep cleaned our fridge because it's only a year old. I've only wiped it down, so it is really in need of a good deep cleaning. So come along with me while I share with you how I clean all of these surfaces in a non-toxic way. And if you're new here, my name's Nissa and I make videos about motherhood and homemaking. Alright, let's jump into this deep clean. First thing I'm doing is starting off with the trash can. I had just taken the trash out and there were so many crumbs and just random things inside of this trash can cabinet, so I'm going ahead and just vacuuming all of that up, and then I'm going to wipe the inside of it down with some cast iron soap and water. Normally I like to clean with rags, but for this I decided to use paper towels just because there were some ketchup spills on the door of this cabinet and some other smelly things going on. And I don't know, the idea of just using one of my rags kind of just creeped me out, so I was like, paper towels it is and we can just throw everything out after. I'm curious if anyone else is like that, where they will refuse to use one of their cleaning rags on a particular surface and opt for paper towels instead. I do think paper towels can be a little bit more sanitary in certain scenarios, definitely when cleaning a toilet. I like to use paper towels instead of a rag, but I know everyone's different about that. But moving on, I am now vacuuming out this lid, gonna quickly wipe it down, and then go ahead and wipe down the inside of my trash can. I recently just did our floors with peel and stick tile and posted a video about that, so if you are curious about our floors, go ahead and check out that video. It is the last one that I posted before this. Now moving on to wiping down the face of these cabinets, I am just again using my water and cast iron soap spray, and this time I am using a rag. I hate the idea of exposed trash cans, and I found this cabinet off of Facebook Marketplace. We got it for $100 and it was brand new in the box, and you can use it for a laundry basket or a trash can, and we opted to use it for a trash can. And then this other cabinet I keep my kids' plates and cups in, and it's at the perfect height for them to get them out themselves, so I love that about it. The door is actually on wheels and rolls out to the side. It doesn't fall forward like the trash can one does, so I think that's really awesome. Now I am taking an old toothbrush with some water and again cast iron soap, and I'm just going into these little crevices here on this cabinet. My husband actually made a smoothie for our kids a while back and spilled some of it onto the cabinets, and now there's these black spots inside of these crevices. So I'm trying to get that out just with a little knife and my toothbrush. Moving on to my dishes, I literally hate doing dishes so much, but obviously they're not going to do themselves, so I'm going to tackle them right now and then clean out the bottom part of my sink. I did film this video over the course of 3 days, so you are going to see me change a couple of times, and that is just because there was a lot of like in-depth cleaning going on in this video, and I don't really find it realistic to give away my entire day to cleaning an entire room top to bottom, especially a room like a kitchen where there's like a lot of in-depth stuff going on. And I have 3 kids, so I just find that like I have to take breaks every once in a while. I ended up having like a counseling session this day, and I needed to take time to do that and stop cleaning. So I decided to just give myself some grace and do this over the course of a couple of days. Now I'm using the Scrub Daddy Power Paste. This says it's non-toxic. I'm not totally sure if it really is or not because it does have a strong fragrance, and fragrances typically are not good for you. They can be very hormonal disruptive, but it does take like the yellowness away on the bottom of the sink, which is what I'm going for right now, and I barely use it. Like I probably take it out every 6 months, so I'm kind of like, for like a better alternative to really intense cleaning products, I'm going to use this. I'm sure there probably is like a lemon and baking soda way, but I have watched videos on people doing that and they haven't had the greatest results. But now I'm moving on to the hood. I'm actually wiping this down with vinegar and water because vinegar is a natural degreaser, and this hood does have a good amount of grease on it. And then I am going to wipe down the top of the hood. I really should have done this the other way around, like wipe down the top and then the bottom, because there was more grease on the bottom, but you live and you learn. I'm only 26, I'm just a girl, and I'm figuring things out. These filters I did have to take apart and remove all of these clips, but I did rinse them off with like really warm water, and then I scrubbed them down with castile soap. I should have used some vinegar on these also because there was a lot of grease on them. Like my fingers were covered in grease after, and I felt so silly. We left the wrapping on these and never realized, so I'm like now realizing that. And this isn't my first time cleaning these things. I've cleaned them probably like 3 or 4 times now and never realized that like the blue wrapping was still on them. I don't know if we like just thought it was supposed to be blue, but yeah, so funny. And these are my fingers. They're literally not wet. That is like the grease on them. It was so gross, but you can see all of it just melting off now with the hot water. While I was waiting for those filters to dry, I decided to wipe down my stove. I am wiping this down with vinegar and water because vinegar helps streaks kind of like dissipate and go away. And because this is like a stainless steel glass surface, I don't want it to look streaky at all. So that is why I'm using the vinegar and water on it. We actually just got this stove and I have the unboxing in our floor video, so if you want to see that as well, go ahead and check out that video. But I love this stove. I originally didn't want a new stove, but our other one actually like completely died on us, so we had to go ahead and get a new one. But it now has the air fryer feature in it, which I love so much because we don't have an air fryer or a toaster oven on our counter. We actually have a camper and a campground at the Jersey Shore, and the oven down there isn't the greatest, so I took our toaster oven down there to use. And I've missed having one here at home, but I didn't want another thing on my counter. Now it is the next day and I'm moving on to the fridge. I'm just going to empty it. You're gonna see this door close a million times because our fridge is not leveled. I feel like when you're doing your own house projects, you tend to just like push off like little things here and there, and something we have never done is level our fridge. Isn't that like so funny? But yeah, I'm just taking everything now out of the drawers, and then I'm gonna take the drawers out and the shelving out, and I'm gonna actually rinse them all off in the sink and vacuum them out on the inside. This is all the old food that we don't really use that I'm deciding to get rid of, and stuff that has expired. And now I'm just going ahead and rinsing off these shelves. Literally, this is so embarrassing, honestly. Do you see the blue tape on these shelves? We left them on there too. I don't know how, like, neither my husband or myself noticed that these shelves and the filters on the hood are not supposed to be blue. So I literally hate seeing like other people's messes like this. So if that bothers you, look away for a second, because we spilled milk in this fridge and it has obviously like dried and crusted up, and it's just like so gross to look at. I feel like I may have gone a little nose blind to what the inside of my fridge might actually be smelling like. And we have had like a good amount of people over during this winter, and people have like gone in and out of our fridge by themselves, and thinking about that just like embarrasses me so much. Like, were people thinking we were so gross? I don't know. I do feel like I have some pretty real friends though, and they would have probably said like, you know, Nessa, like your fridge kind of stinks, like you need to clean that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to tell myself that. Now I am just using this toothbrush again to get into this little crevice of this drawer. I don't really like the design of this because I'm just now realizing this isn't like the easiest thing to clean. But one thing I do want to mention when cleaning is I like to have a vinegar rag and a cast iron soap rag, because if I mix them, I do feel like the cast iron soap leaves streaks, and I don't want streaks on my stainless steel and glass surfaces, so I try to make sure that the rag that I'm using on those is just being touched by vinegar. And I decided to use a knife to scrape all of this old milk off. It wasn't coming up with just the water and the cast iron soap, so I needed to just manually scrape it off. I am obsessed with how this turned out. I love a clean fridge, and I love how there's not a lot of stuff in here right now. It's giving minimalist vibes and very intentional eating, but that's not gonna last. It probably stayed like this for maybe a couple of hours, and then I placed an Instacart order and we filled it up. Moving on to our third and final day, I am going to wipe down the outside of this fridge and just take everything off of it, and then I'm going to move on to wiping down my shelves. If you haven't caught on yet, I like to wipe down stainless steel with vinegar and water, so that is what I'm going to do here. My kids draw me so many pictures and they always love to hang them up on the fridge, and it's literally like my favorite thing in the whole world is having their artwork on the fridge. I want to get like some of those picture frames where you can just like fill up with artwork and have them like hung on the wall for display, but I just don't know where in my house I could put like picture frames like that. I feel like most of my walls are pretty covered, but I was thinking maybe along the stairs, that wall, because I have nothing hung there. I just am nervous about like someone walking into the wall and like bumping it and things falling over. I literally just knocked over a picture frame in our bathroom and cracked it, and I'm so sad about it. So now I have to get a replacement, and I just like know my family. I feel like we're very like clumsy people, so that is the one thing that makes me nervous. Moving on to the shelving, I'm now taking everything off, and this is the one downside to open shelving, is that you just have to literally take everything off of them, and sometimes even the things on them need to get wiped down because they can collect grease and dust. So while it does look really nice, it definitely is a little bit higher maintenance than having cabinets. I, however, am definitely a minimalist at heart, and that was part of the reason I wanted open shelving, is because I don't have a ton of things and I wanted to be able to like display my things and look at them, and pretty much everything on these shelves like get touched at least once a week and are used. We also remodeled this kitchen on our own, and we didn't want to spend like a ton of money on it, so that's why we skipped doing top cabinets and decided to do open shelving instead, because it literally was a fraction of the price. Now that all the shelves are wiped down, I'm going to wipe down the countertops because a lot of dust and debris has fallen on them. And then I'm going to move on to vacuuming and steaming the floors. One of my favorite things about these new floors is that they don't look as dirty as our old beige tiles used to. I feel like our beige tiles always looked like there was just crumbs all over them and splatters. I don't know why they always look so dirty, but these ones I just feel like even if like something spills on them, you can't tell as often as you could with like the beige ones. But you can see a good amount of crumbs on here, and I already do run the vacuum at least twice a week, so I'm not like super concerned about that. But the like splattering and mopping, like mopping isn't always the easiest thing. That is one thing why I love having a steam mop, because it just gets it done so much quicker, and I feel like the floors feel really clean under your feet after. Anyway, I love to digress. I just wanted to say, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing. It would mean so much to me and supports my family a lot. And I hope that you got some good motivation out of this video. Alright, God bless.